Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Finance Tube. My name is Vishal Thakkar. I am your friend and finance guru, back again with an interesting video on Ind AS video series. Today we will talk about the new format of balance sheet prescribed by Ind AS or IFRS or the New Companies Act 2013. Yes, why I am mentioning three sources? Because all the three sources are more or less talking about the same thing. The balance sheet, which we earlier are familiar with, which is prescribed by Schedule 6 of Companies Act 1956, had typical liability and asset side where we started with share capital, reserves and surplus, secured loan, unsecured loan, current liabilities. On the asset side, we had fixed assets, gross block, accumulated depreciation, net block, investments, current assets, loans and advances, and miscellaneous expense to the extent not written off. We are all familiar with this format. Now, let us migrate to a new format. The new format of balance sheet has become very, very interesting and exciting. What are the changes? The changes can be summarized in one single word. The new set of rules tells us that if there is one single question that a balance sheet should answer on the face of it, it has to be how much money does this company have in its own pocket. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about liquidity. While banks have always been traditionally following the liquidity format of balance sheet, whereby they are writing the most liquid assets first and then they go to less liquid and the least liquid, I am not talking about that format per se. Now, the new balance sheet format classifies the assets and liabilities into non-current and current assets and non-current and current liabilities. The idea here is that any reader of the balance sheet should be able to find out what is the liquidity position of the business. Why such a format has been evolved? In the wake of large to very large scams that have happened in last 10 years globally, which have rocked and shocked the world, have forced the law enforcers and regulators to come up with a format whereby if there is any siphoning of money, intentionally or otherwise done by the management or the insiders of the organization, it should be clearly and easily visible to all the stakeholders of the enterprise. To do that, the format has now been shifted to non-current assets, investments, current assets, loans and advances. On the liability side, you have equity, other components of equity, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. What is equity? What are other components of equity? What is statement of changes in equity? Is a new statement altogether which has been introduced in this new format of financial statements. Much more about this and more on Ind AS will continue in our subsequent videos. Requesting you to subscribe now to our channel if you have not done so. Our channel Finance Tube. We'll talk about 4 things today. Point number 1, the banking limit itself. Point number 2, the interest rate. Point number 3, the security cover. And point number 4, bank charges.